Very good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you back to another Power Packed session when it comes to the Hindu editorial analysis. So I hope you guys are ready. And how have you been? How was the weekend? Did you guys manage to squeeze in some study hours? Good. Good morning, Vaishnavi. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm visible as well as audible to you guys. Hi, Aishwarya. Hi, Neelam. Good afternoon, Samiksha. Good afternoon. So, yes, let's start with today's class. I hope you can see my screen. And okay, so the weekend was good, right? Oh, good afternoon, Sanchit. Hi, Drishti. Hello, Karan. Okay, so let's start with the class. I hope you guys are ready. And by the way, did you manage to get a glance of all the editorial analysis so far? Have you or have you not? Good afternoon, Harshjot. Sanchit, I am a little better today, feeling like much, much better. Thank you so much for asking. So, yeah. By the way, I'm not really sure whether you can see my screen, so just give me a quick confirmation and we can start. Okay? Yes, you can, right? Good afternoon, Aryan. Hi. So, let's start. The first word for the day is pluralism. Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of pluralism? I'm not really showing it to you on the screen because I want you guys to give it a good guess here for the simple reason because plural is that one word which we have all heard from time to time. Singular, plural. तो pluralism का क्या मतलब होता होगा? कोई guess कर सकता है? Now, India is a country which is well known for its pluralism. Now, can you guys guess? क्या हो सकता है? Any idea? It has to do with you can say the cultural beliefs. It has to do with the religion of a particular place. So you already know that India is a country of diversity, and that's the reason we encourage pluralism so much. So the first word, as you can see, exactly, it means diversity. It means, in a way, we are together in our diversity. So I would like to combine Aishwarya's and Vaishnavi's answers here. So pluralism is a condition or a system in which two or more states, groups, principles, sources of authority, everything can coexist. That means we can say it's unity in diversity. Exactly. Bilkul sahi. Good job, you guys. See, sometimes the words that we have so commonly heard, उनको थोड़ा सा बदलाव करके we get to learn new meanings here and there. So that's exactly what we did here. The usage, there can be no democratic society without pluralism and tolerance. I think we all can agree that in order to have peace in a particular society, we need to have pluralism, we need to have unity in our diversity, we need to respect every, I would say, group, every state, every authority, and that's how we can live peacefully, right? So let's see an example here. Just a second. I think I'm missing my pen. Hmm. Oh, yes. So I won't be able to write an example for now, but yeah, you guys can come up with your own set of examples and I'll read it out loud. Okay. The pluralism in the drama club was very well known among the people from different stratas. You can use it like that. Okay. Now, moving to the next one. The next one is anomaly. Anomaly का मतलब होता है, by the way, it's also a shampoo brand by Priyanka Chopra. So do not confuse that. Although she has kind of used that name because of its very, I would say, interesting meaning. अगर किसी चीज में anomaly होती है, इसका मतलब है it has some kind of oddity in it, or abnormality in it, or irregularity in it, and that's what makes it an anomaly. For example, uh, suppose you are somebody who loves watching sunsets, and every single evening you basically go out in your balcony and enjoy the sunset. But अगर एक दिन की बात करते हैं हम, तो instead of having an orange sunset, you get a pink sunset. So that's an anomaly. Okay. Similarly, It's something which is unusual. So something that does not happen usually, that's also an anomaly. For example, a polite cat is an anomaly because most cats are not polite at all. I think I would like to narrate a very crazy incident here. So on one of my traveling trips, I kind of was petting a cat and she kind of scratched me. So I can totally relate to this particular example. A polite cat is actually an abnormality or an irregularity because most cats are not polite at all. And let me read your examples now here. Albeit the pluralistic society, or sorry, albeit the pluralistic policy, the employees had a lot of fissures among them. Exactly. India's unity is dependent on the bedrock of pluralism. Lovely. Both of you, you've used some wonderful examples here, Vaishnavi and Sanchit. Okay. So as you can see, something which is irregular, abnormal, odd can be considered an anomaly. So you guys can come up with your own set of examples. Um, okay, my dreams are an okay. So you basically see some vivid dreams, right, Sanchit, by the example that you have given. So the anomaly of my dreams every single morning is crazy. You can use it like that. The next one is recalibrating. And anybody who has taken PCM, physics, chemistry, mathematics, they know the meaning of calibrating and recalibrating. Recalibrating का मतलब होता है basically to change the way you do or think about something. Okay, that means you re-evaluate a certain thing. ठीक है? For example, suppose you wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning, which is like very late, right? So if you want to recalibrate your schedule, you would want to, wake up somewhere around 7 or 8. So that is known as recalibrating or re-evaluating, basically changing the way you do or think about things. Okay. And let's see an example. It's, by the way, a verb, recalibrated, recalibrating. So Ford is recalibrating its EV strategy. EV, I hope everybody knows what an EV is. To move away from large expensive EVs. क्योंकि अभी recently जब EVs market में आई थी, electric vehicles, तो obviously the pricing was exorbitant. बहुत ही ज़्यादा high prices पे बिक रही थी. So obviously Ford would want to change that policy so that EV is accessible to many people. Now, let me read the examples that you guys have come up with. So, Drishti's example is South Asia appears to be an anomaly in the pandemic due to inefficient epidemiological data, according to experts. Okay, that was quite a heavy one. When my elder brother is talking to me politely, so it seems an anomaly for me. Exactly, what a relatable example. Anomaly behavior of student during class. So, Vaibhav, you need to mention also what is that anomaly of a behavior. Okay, for example, somebody who is sitting really quiet and usually they are always talkative. That's an anomaly. ठीक है? If you are a breeder of black dogs and one puppy comes out pink, that puppy is an anomaly. Exactly. It's not an anomaly for leaders to incubate the idea of patriotism among the citizens. And Aryan can relate with the PCM side. So तुमने recalibrating तो सुना ही होगा, I think. Good afternoon, Avi. Welcome to the class. So moving to recalibrating. Recalibrating का मतलब यही होता है कि basically आप जिस तरीके से चीजें करते हो उसके ऊपर सोचो, एनालाइज करो और जहां पे चेंजेस की जरूरत हो वहां पे चेंजेस लेकर भी आओ. ठीक है. Defeat is an opportunity to recalibrate a few cricketing dogmas. Exactly. I think defeats can actually help us to analyze what were our mistakes or to rectify it. So that can be used as recalibrating, right? And one of my favorite words, and that is dystopian. I think you guys might have heard this word many times, and it keeps on making an entrance in the Hindu editorials. पर मुझे नहीं पता कितने लोगों को इसका मीनिंग पता है. When a society is dystopian or when a situation is dystopian, it actually is basically a state or society where there is great suffering or injustice. That means utopian का मतलब होता है an ideal society. और उसी का ही ऑपोजिट होता है डिस्टोपियन. इसका मतलब है a society which nobody wants to be a part of. Okay, so something which is nightmarish, it's so bad that it looks like a bad dream, that is a dystopian society. कितने लोगों ने ये वर्ड पहले सुन चुका है? And let me read you examples. Meanwhile, the police is recalibrating their decision regarding the detaining of the prisoners. Very good, Vaishnavi. Detaining and recalibrating have been perfectly used. Under 19 Indian cricket team should recalibrate after taking a loss. Yes. She soon had to recalibrate her ambitions. Oh, lovely. Hi, Priya. Good afternoon. So, very good, Aishwarya. And did you also know the meaning of the word dystopian? So remember it through the opposite word utopian. Utopian बहुत सारे लोगों ने सुना रहता है और बहुत सारे लोगों को उसका मीनिंग भी पता होता है. Utopian is the ideal society and dystopian is the opposite of ideal, which is a nightmarish society. ठीक है? So the example here is the novel is set in a dystopian future in an America whose infrastructure has been reduced to rubble. रबल इज बेसिकली जिसके आप बोल सकते हो द लास्ट वेस्टिजेस ऑफ अ बिल्डिंग. जब बिल्डिंग पूरी तरीके से डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाती है तो लास्ट में सिर्फ पत्थर बचते हैं. सो दैट्स रबल. ओके. So obviously you can see that this word has a negative connotation. Her past is so dystopic that she doesn't want to think about it. Yes, Vaishnavi, exactly. Lovely example. So you can see here, use it in a negative sense. Uh, okay, I think there is not a single person who thinks of their future in a dystopian way, right? And anybody who only thinks about a dystopic or dystopian future is definitely a pessimist, don't you think? Many leaders' ideology is recalibrated from time to time. Exactly, Sanchit. Then, moving to the next one. The next word, I hope you guys can see it. Shall I move? The next word is stratification. Stratification actually comes from the term strata. So तुम लोगों ने I think again you might have read the word strata in science books, science textbooks. और strata का मतलब होता है basically when you arrange or classify something in levels or in different groups. So that's known as stratification. जैसे कि generally when we actually encounter stratification, it's related to जब एक और कोई कंपनी जो होती है वो अपने आप को रीऑर्गेनाइज कर रही होती है, या आप बोल सकते हो कि इन अ क्लास इफ somebody इज गेटिंग important रोल, फॉर एग्जांपल चार पांच बच्चों को मॉनिटर और किसी को लाइन मॉनिटर और ये सारी चीजें बनाई जाती, तो अगेन दैट्स नोन एज अ टाइप ऑफ स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन व्हेन यू बेसिकली अरेंज और क्लासिफाई अ ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल, अ ग्रुप ऑफ समथिंग into a proper category, into a proper level. ठीक है. So stratification को हम कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं? Wealth is the main symbol of social stratification, don't you think? I think in terms of wealth, that's how we classify people. हम किसी को रिच बोलते हैं, किसी को सुपर रिच बोलते हैं, किसी को मिडिल क्लास बोलते हैं और किसी को बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन बोलते हैं. हाउ? बिकॉज ऑफ वेल्थ. Wealth is such an important parameter for that. In economics also, exactly. And another example from Drishti on dystopian. In today's world, people are becoming rude. As a result, society is turning dystopian. Exactly. So stratification को हम कैसे use कर सकते हैं as a classification or an arrangement. For example, the stratification of the entire finance department came as a surprise for everybody. Mughals invaded our country and planned everything in a dystopian way. Very good example, Aryan. Great. Okay, next one. So I hope you are ready to see the next one. Ostensible. Generally, anything that's ostensible is apparent. That means is taken at the face value. Okay? Apparently use करते हैं हम या seemingly use करते हैं, or something that is seen on the superficial or on the surface level is known as ostensible. Okay? For example, the ostensible reason, that means the apparent reason for his visit was to see an old friend. Okay? And let me read some examples about stratification. Okay, Vaibhav, you can change the statement a little bit. On a weekly basis, I have the habit to stratify my books. Okay? Or the stratification of my books gives me peace. Irregular stratification in society is not only hypothetical but also arbitrary. Very good. किसी ने अपनी मनमानी की, इसका मतलब ये होता है arbitrary. The stratification of books was in order. Very good. My class teacher has stratified students on the basis of knowledge and marks. I think, Sanchit, that's kind of being partial, right? There are different stratifications in organizing sports. Exactly, Avi. Even in family stratification, the role of women is hidden. I think that's the bitter truth, right, Samiksha? Let's talk about ostensible. Ostensible, apparent, seeming. For example, the ostensible reason why she came to my party was to just show off her new dress. Okay, and sometimes people behave ostensibly in a really weird manner, right? Apparently they behave very weirdly, and everybody sucked up to the new boss for the ostensible reason of an appraisal or a raise or a salary hike, right? The policies were ostensibly on a level playing field with the needs of people. Oh, great, Vaishnavi. So moving to the next one, conduit. Conduit का मतलब होता है एक channel. और ये channel हम कैसे बात कर रहे हैं? For example, some teachers are conduits of knowledge. That's how. Okay, they basically enlighten you and impart a great deal of important information which you can actually use in your life. So that means being a channel of something. Okay, so let's see the example. As an actor, you have to be a conduit for other people's words, obviously, because actors perform different roles. Sometimes they play the role of a common man, and the common man's, I would say, situations should also be voiced through the actor's performance. That's what they are saying here. That as an actor, you have to be the channel for other people's words. You need to actually, empower the lowermost categories of the society, lowermost stratas of the society, right? Sanchit, that's actually wonderful that you are taking, into account other people's vocabulary. That's lovely. And Vaishnavi and Aishwarya, both of you, you guys got a lot of praise here. The conditions in West Asia seems ostensible to get resolved. Avi, just change the last word to resolve. Okay? And your example is good to go. Many political parties stratified people on the basis of religion. Exactly, Priya. Absolutely. So, moving to the next one. Vociferously. It ends with ly, so obviously it's an adverb, as you can very well see. And somebody who talks in a vociferous manner, it means they are very loud and forceful. I think we have all met such people who, in general, also talk vociferously. Haven't you? The music is powerful, and pop stars are the conduit for it. Exactly, Drishti. Lovely example. As we can see here, the fans had started booing both men vociferously. By the way, if you boo someone, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Generally, you must have seen some people booing others, right? So, as you can see, it's not really a good thing. And if you are booing both the parties, both the men who are participating vociferously, that means in a loud, aggressive, forceful manner, before the match even started. Obviously, neither of the parties would feel like performing, right? So, we need to be very, very careful when we talk vociferously among a group of people because it might sound a little hostile, right? He talked so vociferously that people had to, run away from the place. Conduit of language is sometimes converted into a toxic way. Oh, that's quite a new take here, Sanchit. The conduit of doctor in pandemic, yes, exactly, during the time of pandemic was life-saving. So you can use it a little differently here, Aishwarya. The conduit of care by the doctors. So just add another word here, the conduit of care by the doctors. during pandemic was life-saving. I seem to recall an electrical conduit pipe was used to exert rather more force. Yes, we can use conduits as pipes, tubes, etc. also. Jordan Peterson and Robert Greene were a conduit for discipline to young men. What a great example here. So, moving forward, vociferously, loud, forceful, and generally, I think it's not really appreciated if anybody talks vociferously. What do you guys think about this? Would you admire such a person who talks in a vociferous manner? Think about it. So the next word and the last word here is humongous. I think you guys must have already heard this word. Humongous comes from the word huge, enormous, great in size, very large. So as you can see, something which is huge, enormous is humongous. For example, mammoths. You must have seen elephants that are known as mammoths. So mammoths are humongous when it comes to their size, right? Let me read the examples. Politicians generally talk vociferously, which often end up as making fun of themselves. Great example. And Priya has used another example. Our sleepless nights are ostensible results of our dreams. Exactly. She is such a humongous star. Let me just move here so that you can see the example. She is such a humongous star. She's such an enormous or a great star. Similarly, I had a humongous problem in front of me. I had a huge problem in front of me. A humongous public crowd vociferously okay, we cannot use the word conduit in that way, Vaishnavi. See, you can see here it's a noun, right? So vociferously is an adverb and it cannot really qualify a noun. So you need to change that sentence a little. So a humongous public crowd vociferously chanted their demands to the government, and ostensibly the government was made to work for it. Okay, government is considered as a whole, so we will be using a singular verb with it. So government के साथ हम was use करेंगे subject verb agreement. Okay, there are large number of people in this country who speak vociferously on the question of no more war. Very good example, Samiksha. And Sanchit, thank you so much for that. Ma'am's knowledge is humongous in every section of the subject. Burj Khalifa is humongous. Komodo dragon is a humongous creature. Lana can gather a humongous crowd, like Taylor if she wants to. Exactly, Aryan. And I don't know why she doesn't, but I think she's an introvert, right? So Aryan, I suppose that you are a Lana fan, right? She's so pretty too. So now time for the editorial of, oh, I think I forgot to delete this slide. I think these are the words which we have already taken last week, right? So we don't really have to see this. Yes. So this is the article of the day. Ties across the sea on the India-UAE close relationship. If you remember, we did talk about India-UAE a few sessions back. And here, this is an extension to that. By the way, we are getting some new information about this, new found friendship between India and UAE. So as you can see, tolerance and pluralism are values that India shares with the UAE. ठीक है तो इसका मतलब ये है कि हम बहुत ही अच्छे दोस्त बन चुके हैं ठीक है also you can see the word here salience and I have already written the meaning of it. Anything which is salient is important. You must have seen questions where they ask you the salient features of a certain thing. इसका मतलब होता है important features of that particular thing. ठीक है so now let's start with the passage. I hope you guys are ready. By the way, let me read your examples first. To deal with people, we must not talk vociferously. Avi, just remove the preposition in and your sentence is great. ठीक है? Priya, he vociferously pulled me in dystopian thoughts. Oh my God, you need to stay away from that person. Shivaji Maharaj is a humongous influence. Vibha, why did you delete your example? It was great. You can rewrite it. Okay? So, are you ready to discuss this? I hope you are. So let's talk about the editorial of the day. So, this is basically the scoop of this entire article. So हमें पता है कि Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he has recently visited UAE, and it was a pretty big deal. We already know that. And this was his seventh visit to the UAE since 2014. Now, the thing is, it also shows how important the Indian government sees this relationship. हमारी जो relationship है with UAE is obviously it's a very important relationship for us, and that's the reason why Modi also makes it a point that he visits UAE from time to time. And now you might wonder why this visit was so special compared to all the other visits in the Gulf region. So here are few reasons. तो यहाँ पे उन्होंने first, second, third करके ऐसे reasons बताए हुए हैं. First off, there are some very key agreements which have been signed between India and UAE during this visit. इसलिए ये बहुत ही important visit थी. Also, these agreements cover topics like trade, investment, technology, and even cooperation on big projects. तो obviously ये बहुत ही important agreement sign हुए हैं हम दोनों के बीच में. And also India Middle East Economic Corridor, इसके बारे में भी बातें हुई हैं यहाँ पे. So this is definitely a huge deal, a humongous deal, because the UAE is now the only country India has both a trade as well as an investment agreement with. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि यूएई हैज बिकम द फर्स्ट कंट्री जिसके इंडिया के साथ इतने सॉलिड रिलेशंस हैं. ठीक है, क्योंकि हम ट्रेड में भी इन्वेस्टमेंट में भी हमने दोनों ही जगह पे उनके साथ अग्रीमेंट्स कर लिए हैं. नाउ स्पीकिंग ऑफ ट्रेड, द यूएई इज नाउ इंडियाज टॉप ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर्स, क्योंकि मैंने अभी बताया हमने ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट तो साइन कर लिया है. इट्स ऑल्सो ह्यूज डेस्टिनेशन व्हेन इट कम्स टू इंडियन एक्सपोर्ट्स. तो जब हम ऑब्वियसली इंडिया कोई चीज जब एक्सपोर्ट करती है तो यूएई is the first country that it exports to probably, and it's also a major source of foreign investment for India. इसका मतलब ये है कि it's bringing money into India also. They even opened a social marketplace. तो हम लोगों ने मिल के एक social marketplace भी खोल के रखा हुआ है, भारत मार्ट, to basically help the Indian small businesses and business owners to sell their products in UAE. तो तुम लोग देख सकते हो कि कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट रिलेशनशिप है हम दोनों के बीच में. बेसिकली वी आर बोथ फेचिंग मनी फॉर द अदर. Obviously, where money is involved, obviously the relationship becomes very, very pivotal. But it's not just about business that I'm talking about here. India and the UAE have a long history of cultural ties. हम लोगों की बहुत ही important, strong, strengthening cultural ties भी है, and that goes back to centuries. So it's a very, I would say, very, very old, ancient relationship that we share. Plus, there's a large Indian community in the UAE, which sends a lot of money back to obviously कितने सारे लोग हैं जो यूएई में रहते हैं जो वहां से पैसा इंडिया में भेजते हैं क्योंकि उनकी फैमिलीज यहाँ पे रहती है. ठीक है. सो हाउएवर देर आर सर्टेन डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन द टू कंट्रीज. ऐसा नहीं है कि हर चीज ही बहुत ही रोजी है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट एवरीथिंग इट्स अ बेड ऑफ रोजेस. ऐसा नहीं है, थोड़े थोड़े डिफरेंसेस भी है हमारे बीच में. ठीक है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वाई द यूएई इज ट्राइंग टू बिकम मोर ओपन as well as inclusive. UAE has been हमेशा से ही बहुत ही traditional society रही है. So they are trying to change themselves by becoming more open and inclusive. And India has been dealing with some, tensions related to religious as well as cultural differences. तो इंडिया में भी थोड़े से टेंशंस है related to religion and cultural differences. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he has emphasized the importance of tolerance and pluralism, जो कि तुम लोग यहाँ पे सब टाइटल की तरह देख भी सकते हो. तो इस विजिट पे मोदी जी ने यहाँ पे ही मेड इट अ पॉइंट दैट ये वाला जो पॉइंट है इट शुड बी पुट अक्रॉस दैट टॉलरेंस एज वेल एज प्लूरलिज्म व्हेन इट कम्स टू रिलीजन इज वेरी वेरी क्रूशियल. ओके. it will also help us to bridge the gap between the two countries क्योंकि छोटे छोटे differences हैं. If we work upon it, obviously things are going to be smoothened out, right? And so all in all, as we can see, Prime Minister Modi's visit to the UAE was about strengthening the ties between the two countries, both economically, culturally, while also talking about the challenges which both countries can face. And that's pretty much the summary of the particular article. I hope you have understood it. अगर नहीं समझ में आया तो please ask me. I can re-explain. ठीक है? So this was basically the information. Exactly. So it's like a new era of friendship for the both of us. Also, क्योंकि ये ऐसा new era of friendship तो definitely है, बट द थिंग इज बहुत ही पुराने टाइम से हम लोग एक दूसरे के साथ हैं, and we have been cooperating and collaborating on different things, so obviously we have always been friends. And yes. Sanchit, ऐसा क्यों? Good afternoon, Harisharan. By the way, Harisharan, I've seen your example in the previous video, your comment, and it was incredible. So I would want to, praise you on that, and keep up the good work. And hi, Masoom, how are you? And you have such a pretty name. So let's talk about the main idea. By the way, let's also discuss the important words which are discussed here. So salience means important, importance, and interlocutor. Does anybody know the meaning of interlocutor? Vaibhav, I was just coming to that. As you can see, I've already highlighted the difficult words, so don't worry, we'll share it. We'll obviously discuss it. So interlocutor का क्या मतलब होता है? A person who is, as you can see, who takes part in a dialogue or conversation. For example, there are two people having a conversation. An interlocutor is also that another person who intervenes and talks, or be a part of that conversation. So as you can see, exactly Vaishnavi, a part of a discussion. Yes, Aditi. This editorial analysis video जो होता है, it's actually posted every single day. It's a live video, and you can be a part of it by being here at 12 o'clock. So it starts at 12 for English, and for GK, I think it starts at 11 o'clock, right? And meaning of pluralism, guys, I have already discussed the meaning of pluralism in the beginning itself. So who would like to enlighten this person who wanted to know the meaning? By the way, what's your name? प्लूरलिज्म का क्या मतलब होता है? When different societies, different states, different religions, different cultures, they stay together or they coexist, that's pluralism. So interlocutor is a person who takes part in a dialogue or conversation. Then the second word is diaspora. Diaspora का मतलब होता है large group of people from different, obviously, cultures, and हम बोल सकते हैं कि they kind of share a cultural and regional origin. For example, generally ये तब होता है जब migration होता है of people. For example, the people from Bangladesh, they are migrating to India. So वो जो handful of people है, they have this shared cultural and regional origin, and that's basically diaspora. They have the traditional homeland, right? So diasporas come about through immigration and forced movements of people. जनरली जब लोगों को फोर्सफुली उनकी ही कंट्री से भगा दिया जाता है, and they start inhabiting in different countries. So they have this common cultural background, their homeland is same, that's diaspora. ठीक है? Moving to remittances. Somebody was asking me the meaning of remittances, right? I think it was Webov. So Webov, here you go. Remittance is basically the money. We talked about how the Indian people who live in UAE, they send money back to India. है ना? उसी के बारे में बात हो रही थी. So that is remittances, the money or goods that migrants send back to families and friends in origin countries. For example, अगर मैं UAE में रह रही हूँ, and if I'm earning good, I'll definitely send the money back to my homeland, right? Because my family stays here. That's remittances. And I've also got main idea from Avi as well as Vaishnavi. So Vaishnavi and Avi, I'll just read it in a bit, okay? And yes, a sum of money that you send. Theocratic comes from theology. Theology is the study of religion and God. So here also theocratic is basically a system of government when the priest rule the country in the name of God. ठीक है? जैसे कि हम बोल सकते हैं वैटिकन सिटी में पोप, जो पोप्स वर्ड होता है, इट्स द लास्ट वर्ड, राइट? तो वहां पे प्रीस्ट एक्चुअली रूल द कंट्री, सो दैट इज थियोक्रेटिक. And I have also highlighted this word majoritarian. I would like to know the answers from you guys in the chat box later on. What exactly is a majoritarian form of government? ठीक है? So moving forward, I've already explained the passage. Main idea, yes. I would like to read the main idea which has been shared by Vaishnavi as well as Avi. So Vaishnavi has written here, even though there are cultural and political differences in UAE and India, the policy of pluralism as well as tolerance is incubated in both the countries, and they are embracing their differences and growing together. Lovely. Vaishnavi, that's exactly what I had wanted for the main idea. Great job. India UAE bilateral relationship is emerging as a great source of inspiration for other countries to improve their own relationship with other countries. Very good, takeaway, Avi. Exactly what I was looking for. So I think we can combine Vaishnavi's as well as Avi's ideas here, and we can get our main idea. बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से तुम दोनों ने sum up किया है. Sanchit, I think it's basically your hard work and your consistency which is making you, excel in English in general. So I think credit goes to you as well. So moving forward to the tone of the passage, it was informative and analytical. इसमें सिर्फ information दी गई है about the recent, friendship between UAE and India. And it also analyzed because उसमें हमें cons भी पता चलते हैं दोनों की relationship में थोड़े से challenges हैं but they are trying to work it out है ना. So it's analytical and informative. I'm sorry I cannot really write because the pen is missing, but you guys can note it down. It's informative and analytical. Okay. So moving to the next one. How many of you have already read the article, the ruling that gives primary school teaching a new slate? Oh, I did not know that, Sanchit. Thank you for enlightening me. Earlier, the leader of Turkey was basically a theocratic ruler. India should stop any remittance towards the Maldives as its ministers were racist towards our PM. Absolutely, Aryan. By the way, I think you guys must have heard that Maldives has basically declared bankruptcy in IMF, right? Okay, so let's talk about, हाँ तुम लोगों ने सुना तो होगा इसी चीज के बारे में. So let's talk about this particular article, the ruling that gives primary school teaching a new slate. So इसमें basically the passage is actually talking about the Supreme Court's decision, and the writer is not really happy about it because it talks about the qualifications for primary school teaching in India, and it emphasizes, the need for specialized training in foundational literacy. तुम लोगों ने देखा होगा कि there are, I think, lack of sources when it comes to specialized teaching and training in foundational literacy and as well as numeracy when it comes to India. India में इतना ज़्यादा teachers के लिए कुछ है नहीं as such. It also discusses the current anomalies. Anomalies का मतलब होता है irregularities in teacher education, and calls for government support. जब तक government का support नहीं रहेगा, teachers की qualification भी up to the mark नहीं रहेगी. And they need to kind of start introducing programs like DED, BEd, BEI, EED, ये सारे ऐसे programs आपको introduce करने पड़ेंगे. And additionally, this passage also advocates the alternative pathways for B.Ed holders, जिससे कि उनको certification मिल सके, जिससे कि they can actually, improve their qualifications for primary teaching. And this also highlights the importance of addressing concerns when it comes to mathematics. क्योंकि mathematics की education भी it's in a sorry state. So we need to do something to improve the overall qualifications of teachers in India. And for that, government has to do something which the government is not doing. So obviously, the article's tone, according to the writer is not at all happy. So what do you guys think? What should be the tone of this particular article? Aryan, the state is pitiful. Pitiful का मतलब होता है the state of Indian teachers is pitiful. इसमें दया आती है हमें. We need to do something about it, but the government isn't. So it's critical. The tone of the passage is critical. I can't really write anything, so guys, please mark critical as the answer. And paranoid का क्या मतलब होता है? What's the meaning of the word paranoid? Can anybody tell me? If you're paranoid about something, that means you question the, I would say, the credibility of it. Generally, this word can be related to cynicism. ठीक है? So the answer was critical. And paranoid का मतलब होता है आपको हर चीज में डाउट होता है, आप हर चीज को क्वेश्चन करते हो. You basically ask for credibility and accountability of that thing. That's you being paranoid. ठीक है? And apologetic, If somebody is trying to ask for forgiveness or an apology, that's apologetic. तो यहाँ पे कोई किसी से forgiveness तो नहीं मांग रहा था, ना ही आप बोल सकते हो किसी की pitiful condition के बारे में बात कर रहा था. The writer wasn't happy about what government is doing, about teachers' qualification. So the teacher's state is pitiful, but the passage overall was critical. ठीक है? So moving to the next one. Yes, trust issues. You remember that, Avi. Great. The answer was critical. Moving to the next one. Recalibrating merit in the age of AI. Sanchit, which one are you talking about? To think wrongly? हाँ, तुम बोल सकते हो उस चीज को. Paranoid is when you think wrongly or when you have lots and lots of doubts in general. ठीक है? So, recalibrating merit in the age of artificial intelligence. Let's talk about this particular passage. How many of you have already read it? Anyone? So, हमें यहाँ पे पता चलता है कि we talk about a very detailed exploration of the concept of meritocracy. But before that, you need to know what is meritocracy. Meritocracy का मतलब होता है something which is based on merit. Suppose हमने उस गवर्नमेंट को पावर में ला दिया जिसको आप बोल सकते हो कि they have kind of constantly proved themselves on the basis of their merits, on the basis of their achievements. तो उसको बोलते हैं meritocracy. And also we get to know about its relationship with artificial intelligence. Now the thing is, there are several viewpoints and several आप बोल सकते हो inferences which can be derived from this particular essay. Also, the author is a little bit critical, but overall he's not really critical. So he's a little bit critical when he, assesses the challenges that can be posed by AI in the long term, and also the traditional ideas behind meritocracy. जहाँ पे भी meritocracy आएगी वहाँ पे I would say there might be conflicts in one way or the other. So the writer highlights the complexities as well as the challenges, also the potential consequences कि आने वाले फ्यूचर में क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकती है when we will advance through technology. Also the tone आप बोल सकते हो overall critical तो नहीं थी. He is objective also in his tone because he is trying to provide you information. So बहुत सारी tones मिलके ये आपको सोचने पे मजबूर कर देती है. ठीक है? So the writer keeps on bringing forth the sense of urgency कि हमें कुछ करना पड़ेगा इस चीज के लिए, so that the readers actually understand why it's so important to recalibrate or to re-evaluate meritocracy in the context of artificial intelligence or artificial achievements. ठीक है, तो हम देख सकते हैं कि बहुत सारे टोन्स इसमें यूज हुए हैं, but the thing is it actually makes us think. So it is thought provoking, not speculative. देखो speculative का मतलब होता है, पहले तो याद रखना, something which is a speculation is based on guesswork. Was the writer guessing anything? तुम ही लोग बताओ मुझे, क्योंकि तुम लोगों ने speculative mark तो किया है. The answer is thought provoking, and as you can very well see here, speculative means something which is based on guesswork. Was the writer guessing anything? No, he wasn't. Ecstatic means you are extremely happy. You're super happy about something. That's you being ecstatic. Okay? Rebellious का मतलब होता है obviously you are against something. तो rebellious तो था नहीं. उसने guess work भी नहीं किया है, तो thought provoking ही था, क्योंकि उसमें उसने information भी दी है, उसमें उसने critical analysis भी थोड़ा बहुत किया है, उसमें उसने objective यानी कि उसने अपना opinion तो नहीं दिया है. So that's why it is actually a mix and match of several tones. It's thought provoking. Moving to the question that you have to write in the comment box, not in the chat box. And this you'll be able to write once the video is done. We are done with the class, the session. Okay? What you need to do is you need to identify the tone or the writing style, and please click a picture of this. Anybody who has read this particular article, they might already know the answer to this. And I'll be revealing the answer for this particular passage in the next session that we meet, which is, I think, hopefully tomorrow. So kal I'll basically make that big splash by revealing the answer. But until then, you can guess your answers in the comment box later once the video is done. So You need to identify the tone or writing style of this particular article, misplaced priorities on the scrapping of the free movement regime between India and Myanmar. So click a picture of this particular slide. I hope you can see it. And think about it. अगर तुम लोगों ने आर्टिकल नहीं पढ़ा है तो पहले पढ़ लेना अच्छे से, and then you can come up with your answers in the comment box. Okay? So do let me know if you have clicked the picture so that we can wrap up today's session. And yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope today's class was clear. In case of any doubts, please feel free to put it in the chat box. Are you done clicking the picture? Done? Alrighty then. So sometimes tone or writing style can be asked in this format as well. ठीक है, कभी कभी वो आपको sources भी पूछते हैं, तो I would like to bring that question probably in the next one. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time, for your patience, for being so interactive. I really have a great time when you guys talk. So, yeah, let's keep up with the good work. Have a great day, everyone. That's it from my side. Signing off. Bye bye.